Hey, I'm Todd. Thanks for choosing to watch my video, and if you would subscribe it, like it, all that stuff, that'd be great. Otherwise, enjoy the video, and I hope it gives you the information you need and is helpful to you. Take care. So I do get a lot of comments with people saying I have saved them a lot of money, and I do get questions, hey, can I send you some money somehow? And now there is a way, if you so choose, called fan funding. You'll find it on the channel page right there. 2003 Dodge Ram V10 8.0 liter, doing a thermostat housing, thermostat replacement. I've gotten started on it. 8mm 5/16 screw here to hold the snorkel in place. It's got these clips. Snap the clips off right there. Lift the housing off of the air cleaner right there, lift it off that, and it should just pull out. There's no other bolts holding it in place. And I've got the upper hose off. There's my pliers I just used, and I grooved these pliers to make them work. Both these hoses, got hand clamps. Then we got one bolt underneath the alternator, so we'll need to move that out of the way. So I got a 16mm wrench. We'll just push down and release the tension on the belt and take it off so we can remove the two bolts for the alternator. Not too much to it. 16mm, and push down on it counterclockwise. And then you'll also have a connector right here, just kind of pulled off right there. So I'm using 14mm socket and wrench. 14mm. It could be 9/16, but it's a little snug on there, but it's working. So nut, bolt, and bolt. And we'll just lift it up a little bit and bring it forward because we do have the battery positive still hooked up. Didn't disconnect it. We'll just bring the alternator forward a little bit to give us room for that one bolt that's done underneath it. Now this has a bushing right here, so I like to grab the alternator, grab it, kind of do this, and hopefully push some bushings back a little bit in place so we have some free play. When we want to put it back on, it'll just slide on and off. So we just lift it up a little bit here and move it forward. I need two hands. We'll lift it up and pull it forward. So got the alternator moved up a little bit. Switch to a 1/2 inch because I think these bolts are 1/2 inch. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bolts. Everything is left to loosen, right to tighten. I gave it a few taps because it was on there a little tight. Give it a few taps on the side and then freed it up, and now it's off. We'll need to clean this up for the new gasket. Look at that, huh? Crazy thermostat setup. That's removing your thermostat. Scrape this with an appropriate gasket scraper. They do have a spray gasket remover, which is a chemical process and nasty stuff. Plastic scraper is best on aluminum, but use whatever scraper you got available, or a wire wheel of some kind. Don't be putting gouges in anything and making it unflat. So we'll just clean this all up. Clean some of those holes up a little bit. They got some rust in them. We'll clean the holes up, and we'll probably clean some of the bolts up on a wire wheel. Got some rust on them, so let's clean those up, and we'll drop the new thermostat in place. Right there, that new thermostat in place, and put it back together. And get yourself a new gasket too, of course. So we got our gasket all cleaned up, threads cleaned up, got it all back together. Thermostat in first, put the gasket in. I'm going to tighten down the bolts. 220 inch-pounds is the torque spec. So we'll just tighten this up, put things back together. I'd recommend replacing the clamps and not reuse those, I guess, because if you don't get them in the right spot, they can leak on you. This one was actually leaking. Someone had it apart already. I'm going to replace it with 2 screw type clamps. I'm going to go ahead and fill it up with a nice 50-50 mix of coolant. This had green coolant in it. Not sure what yours is going to have. Maybe Dodge coolant. So just be aware of the color that comes out, I guess, and probably put it back in unless you want to flush it out and put in the right stuff.